When a brand known for making ice cream faces real-world challenges, the impact goes far beyond the freezer aisle. I'm Jeehaan, and together with Sheyini, Dinya and Viyaan, we're going to break down a key event in Ben & Jerry's journey.
Ben & Jerry's began in 1978 when two best friends opened a small ice cream shop in Burlington, Vermont, a business rooted in purpose, mixing sweet flavors with social good. They became known for donating part of their profits to community causes and taking bold activist positions. But when Unilever bought the company in 2000 for over $300 million, tensions grew. Ben & Jerry's pushed for strong activism, whereas Unilever preferred a safer, more neutral image. This conflict escalated in 2021 when Ben & Jerry's decided to stop selling ice cream in Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories, a move Unilever strongly opposed, turning the brand into a global symbol of profits versus ethics.
We will now analyze the PESTLE forces that affected this environment.
First, the socio-cultural environment. Society has grown more socially aware and vocal about justice, equality, and sustainability. Ben & Jerry's has built its identity around its activism, supporting LGBTQ rights, racial justice, and climate action. In 2009, when Vermont legalized same-sex marriages, they renamed their Chubby Hubby flavor to Hubby Hubby to show their support. Again, in 2012, they released Happily Ever After in the UK, where it featured a gay couple on a wedding cake to support marriage equality.
This activism created deep emotional connections with young, socially conscious consumers, strengthening loyalty because buying the product felt like supporting a cause.
The second force is political. In 2021, Ben & Jerry's publicly stated that it would end sales in Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories because continuing sales there simply did not align with their ethics. However, Unilever wanted to avoid political backlash and emphasize neutrality. The disagreement had become so severe that Unilever sold Ben & Jerry's Israeli operations to American Quality Products owned by Activism. In 2025, Jerry Greenfield resigned, accusing Unilever of breaking the agreement that protected the company's independent board. So what began as an ethical decision turned into a corporate clash, activism versus profits, exposing a deep misalignment in political values.
Originally, Ben & Jerry's bold activism made consumers feel seen and represented. But after the Unilever takeover, some activism appeared toned down or performative, causing trust to fade. The brand risked losing authenticity, which is a major problem for consumers who value purpose-driven brands.
Politically, the Palestine decision made the brand extremely polarizing. Many young progressive consumers admired the brand's ethical stance and supported it even more. For them, buying Ben & Jerry's meant supporting justice. But at the same time, pro-Israel customers were angered and they boycotted the brand. Later, when Unilever overruled Ben & Jerry's activism, pro-Palestine customers felt betrayed and boycotted the brand. So while one group strengthened loyalty, another lost trust, creating two very opposing customer segments.
Here is a closer look at Ben & Jerry's key target audience. The segment most connected to this issue is what we call the sweet activists. They are aged 18 to 40, mainly millennials and Gen Z. Progressive, socially engaged and motivated by ethical consumption. They seek products that deliver emotional satisfaction and align with their values. They actively support activism-themed flavors such as Hubby Hubby or Apple by Ever After, making this segment highly influential for the brand.
Ben & Jerry's response, refusing to sell in Israeli-occupied territories, was appropriate for maintaining authenticity. It strengthened loyalty within its activist customer base and reinforced its identity as a socially conscious brand. However, Unilever's counter-response, continuing sales through a third party, damaged consumer trust, created backlash, and went against the company's core values. Was it appropriate? The reaction was partially appropriate. From a marketing perspective, preserving brand authenticity is critical, especially for a company targeting ethically driven consumers.
We recommend that Ben & Jerry's continue to be earnest and outspoken in its activism, as this has given the brand an edge and a strong identity as socially responsible. By staying true to its core values and not going vanilla or softening its voice, the company can further strengthen consumer loyalty and trust. Moreover, Ben & Jerry's should also remain bold in its political stance, even when facing pressure from Unilever. Their refusal to sell in Israeli-occupied Palestinian areas, despite backlash and lost sales, ultimately reinforced their commitment to their values. In the long run, this strengthens their brand image and reminds consumers that they genuinely aim to bring peace, love, and ice cream to the world. Ultimately, the Ben & Jerry's case shows how activism shapes the marketing environment and how staying true to values can be both risky and rewarding.